Welcome to the fourth edition of my weekly news podcast, where I will be talking about important news and developments as impartially and unbiased as possible. This week's most significant political news has been the discussion regarding abortion and the US Supreme Court's upcoming decision next year. Another political development is how Magdalena Andersson became the Swedish Prime Minister twice. And now, a staple in this podcast, the war in Ethiopia, is our final political development. Starting this week's edition, the United States Supreme Court is likely to rule in support of an abortion law put in place by Mississippi, which bans abortions after 13 weeks. Oh, and by the way, this includes cases of rape and incest. I'll just leave it there. Look, I'm not here to get into the pro-life or pro-choice debates. It's none of my business. I really am not that informed, but in case of rape, I cannot say how healthy and happy the mother would be to take care of a child. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, it's a bit more strange that rape and incest are included. Of course, incest is scientifically proven to cause unwanted genetic sequences to come together and form unwanted structures in a newborn individual, we say. Right, we move on from my opinion. Previously, in a historical ruling by the Supreme Court in 1973, Roe vs. Wade, it was stated that until the fetus can survive outside the womb, which is around 6 months, they could abort. Now, with Mr. Trump's appointment of 3 conservative judges to the US Supreme Court, conservatives have a majority of 6 to 3. It is widely expected that the new ruling regarding an abortion clinic in Mississippi will override the 1973 ruling. If it happens, 20 states are thought to impose restrictions on abortions almost immediately. Whatever happens, we will be reporting on it. Both sides have their own solid arguments, and they are rightfully correct in their views. So yeah, I just wish the best for everyone. For the second topic this week, Sweden has got itself its first female Prime Minister. Actually, they got her the top job twice. She was sworn in for the first time, but had to resign because her budget had failed to pass. But she was sworn in once again, as she was the leader of the largest party in the country. And this time around, it looks like she has succeeded. For now, at least. She was only Prime Minister, for the first time at least, for 7 hours. Probably the shortest Prime Minister in Swedish history. Sweden has a different political system compared to other well-known nations. A bit odd, indeed. In the Swedish parliament, passing something is relatively different, as you do not actually have to have a majority on your side. You just need to not have a majority of people voting against you. So you just need to have not many people vote against you. If there are 300 people, you may only get 100 votes on your side, but if the other side does not get 151 votes voting against you, you still pass. So yeah, it's a bit odd. For the first time, again, she barely got through by a single vote. But again, of course, failed to pass a budget, as one party was very much upset about their condition and their treatment, as their rival party got a say in the budget. And yeah, some political business, not my thing. And yeah, another interesting fact, Sweden was the last Nordic country to vote in a female prime minister. Many parties were discontent with her and her party, of course, and they did not necessarily like her budget, but as elections are scheduled for like in 9 months, they just wanted to have her stay and then let the public decide. And the final political development this week is the continuation of the war in Ethiopia. I swear it's becoming a weekly staple of this podcast, and I genuinely do not know if people are interested in it. So maybe comment down, I don't know. But I find it interesting, and I find it worthwhile to talk about. Now, this time around, the government forces seem to be winning and seem to take some territory back, and have captured some strategic logistical towns that also house beautiful rock-hewn churches which date back all the way to medieval times, 11th, 12th century. They're actually pretty beautiful. The rebels had been steadily advancing on the Ethiopian capital, but they may have overstretched themselves. Also, another important reason may be that the federal forces are receiving drones from nations such as Russia, Turkey, China, and Iran. There have also been protests against the United States for their embargo on Ethiopia regarding human rights abuses. Though let me be real this time. I know maybe it has some real targeted evidence, but atrocities being committed by both sides, and not one side is guilty, both sides are guilty. The only real result though of this move by the West will be to probably push the country further east and probably lose a big country that has great potential to develop after the conflict is over. And also, I understand the people here, young federalist people, are tired of ethnic divisions that are holding Africans back. Some stupid tribal disputes are holding an entire continent back, pretty much, at least sub-Saharan, that have plagued the nation since its foundation. And yeah, therefore they're highly supportive of Abiy's all-inclusive regime instead of being divided upon ethnic lines, which is what the Tigrayans want. We will of course continue to report on the issue as new information emerges. Now, on to cultural and humanitarian developments. And the first one is the bizarre case of an Italian man trying to dodge vaccination with a literal fake arm. A fucking silicone arm. And another development has been a devastating drought ravaging East Africa. Finally, a heartbreaking school shooting has yet again taken place in the US. What can I say at this point about this? What can anyone say? First, let's have the fun news and the funny one. The Italian man attempted to fool a nurse into vaccinating him in his fake arm, therefore obtaining a much needed COVID vaccination certificate. However, the nurse noticed the arm, of course she did, for being too pale and feeling too dead and cold. The jab is required for all healthcare workers, and the man later turned out to be a health worker that has been suspended for his unvaccinated status. The nurse went ahead and reported him to the police for fraud, but there was nothing really to be prosecuted. It's just a hilarious case, so nothing really happened. But the man just waited a solid 400 euros he spent purchasing the fake arm. Yeah, we had a good laugh, but the next news is really saddening, the both of them. The following news is a disclaimer. The following news contains graphic photos of dead animals, so if you're sensitive, we advise you not to look. On to the more saddening news of the droughts in East Africa. It is said that 26 million people are struggling to feed themselves as a result of poor seasonal rains. The drought is likely to continue until mid-2022. Some livestock owners are reporting losses of up to 70%. Wildlife is also hard hit, and many are dying in droves. Let us just hope that the rains return soon, as one thing is for sure, for all of the world, we all need water. And another saddening, horrendous news is this week, yet another school shooting has taken place in Michigan, as a student shot his fellows with his father's gun, killing 4 and critically injuring another. The perpetrator, that monster, has thankfully been charged as an adult and not been let off with a juvenile sentence, thankfully, again I repeat, and it is likely that we'll never see the light of day again. There needs to be fundamental change in the United States so that these grievous acts may not happen ever again. This cannot repeat. This happens too often. This shouldn't happen. Now, on to economic developments, and as usual in this edition, it is cryptocurrencies that I'll be talking about. Major crypto executives are to be questioned in the US Congress, as even the land of the free is following nations around the world in tightening their grip on lawless crypto markets. Prominent politicians from both left and right of the political spectrum are voicing their discontent at cryptocurrencies. Some progressive Democrats arguing for tougher restrictions on cryptos, and former President Donald Trump has called the currencies scams. It is interesting to see that countries are finally cracking down on cryptocurrencies, as nobody even has a clue on how much dirty money, how much drug money, how much extortion money, how much child labor money, how much slavery money is being fueled and channeled through them, and how countless people have lost their life savings to these scams or investing poorly. It's great to finally see that some action is being taken. I'm not against the idea of cryptocurrencies, but the current state is horrible. It's just horrible, like the amount of money and the untraceability. Who knows how much money drug lords are sending each other through crypto coins, instead of any physical presence in the past with huge duffel bags full of dollar bills, $1 million, and the police being on their necks. And just click a button and then poof, $1 billion can be sent instantly. So, good to see some action is being taken. I, again, thank you very much for listening to the 4th edition of 10-Minute News, and I hope that you have enjoyed it. Join us next time, and please stay well in these times. And also, please remember to like and subscribe and share with your friends so more may get informed. Thank you.